Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Living Fiercely. I'm your host, Tiana, and I help ambitious entrepreneurs eliminate everything standing between them and the success they know they're capable of. Today, we are talking about something entrepreneurs consistently underestimate, and that is how much their physical space, their social circle, and their digital world influence their performance and their success. And this goes far beyond any mindset or discipline practice. It's shaped by the environment you operate in every single day. The room you work from or office space you work in, the people you interact with, your daily surrounding, and the digital noise that's constantly pulling your attention. Maybe you're someone who's trying to build something powerful while functioning inside an environment that's built for distraction and mediocrity, and then you wonder why you feel drained, unfocused, behind, or stuck. It is because your environment is never neutral. It is either pulling you forward towards your goals and your vision or pulling you under. And for most entrepreneurs, it's quietly destroying their potential without them even realizing it. So if you're ready to stop fighting those uphill battles and finally build an environment that supports your ambitions, this episode is for you. We're going to start with your physical space first and how your physical space is stealing your focus. So let me ask you this. What does your workspace really look like right now? Is your desk neat, clean, organized, or is it covered in papers, maybe old cups, random clutter, and some half-finished tasks? Are you walking into a battlefield before your workday even starts, or are you set for success? A messy space isn't harmless or neutral, and it works against your ability to think clearly and show up at your highest level. So every object your eyes land on forces your brain to make a tiny decision. Do I deal with this? Do I move it? Do I think about it later? And these micro decisions pile up fast. They steal your focus, they drain clarity, and they make it harder to get into deep work because your mind is already tired from processing the chaos around you. And most entrepreneurs try to work in environments that actually destroy their ability to concentrate. Some noisy cafe shops, chaotic living rooms, shared offices with constant interruptions, or spaces with terrible lighting that shuts their brain down halfway throughout the day. Your environment dictates your output far more than your motivation does. Natural light alone improves your focus. A well-lit space will help your brain stay engaged instead of fading out as the day goes on. And every time your attention jumps between unrelated objects, tasks, or distractions, you're burning mental energy that you need for creativity, decisions, and execution. And by the end of the day, you feel drained and exhausted, but not accomplished. You assume it's a discipline problem, but in reality, your environment has been working against you all day. And it's not only clutter and objects. What does your workspace communicate to you? Second, are the people bleeding you dry. So when we talk about environment, it's not just your physical environment, like where you live and your surrounding. It's also the people that you allow into your world. The people around you either accelerate your growth or are quietly killing your momentum. If you are not cautious, you can lose massive amounts of energy to emotional dumpers, complainers, professional victims, and the people who rely on you to manage their emotions because they refuse to handle their own. Every conversation with a person like this pulls you off track. Every emotional crisis that someone dumps on you hijacks your focus, and they often disguise this as being close, support, or needing your help. But in reality, they're outsourcing their emotional management to you. And then there's another group, the subtle saboteurs. The ones who like you as long as you stay on their level. They support you until you start winning. And then when you grow, they get uncomfortable. They will start to make passive comments, downplay your achievements, or find a way to guilt you into shrinking so that they don't have to confront their own lack of progress. These people see your success as a threat because it exposes what they're not doing with their own lives and what they believe is out of reach for them. Or they just know that they're lazy or afraid to go after it. And as much as you would like to keep everyone in your life, you cannot build a powerful life surrounded by people committed to mediocrity. And I'm not saying you have to cut everyone off, but it will require boundaries and limits. And yes, some people will not be able to make it to your next level. But your success is more important than someone else's comfort or approval, or someone else's reactions to it. So if you're listening to this and nodding your head, take a quick moment and click that follow button, and please go share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And the third one is your digital world and how it's bankrupting your focus. Now, let's talk about your digital environment, the part that quietly steals more time than anything else. Your screen time will show you how much. Your phone interrupts you constantly. Notifications train your brain to expect interruptions, and each interruption breaks your concentration. It takes around 20 minutes to fully refocus after being distracted. Yes, yet most people will get distracted dozens of times per hour. That means that you never reach full concentration. That's crazy. This is why you can work all day and still feel like you accomplish nothing or very little, because you aren't actually working. You're bouncing between distraction and recovery, and social media makes it even worse. These apps are engineered to keep you scrolling, reacting, consuming, and comparing. How many times have you opened Instagram just for a minute or just to check a notification, and suddenly 20 minutes are just gone? And you just can't stop scrolling. It's actually scary. You come back feeling drained and behind. Your digital clutter just adds another layer. Thousands of unread emails, random files, dozens of open tabs, unused apps, and constant alerts. All of it chips away at your mental clarity. Most entrepreneurs think that they have a focus problem, but they're really dealing with an environment problem. Now that you're aware of all of this, this is how you can fix this. So let's talk about how to redesign your environment so that it becomes an asset instead of liability. You need to upgrade your physical space. Number one, your desk, but also your environment and living space, especially if you're someone who works from home. I actually want you to leave today with an assignment to clear out any clutter, old clothes, things that you don't use or wear. Get rid of it, sell it, or donate it. If you don't have the time to audit your whole life, start with one area: your office, wardrobe, bathroom, kitchen, whichever. Pick one area to start, and then every week you can repeat the same with a different area. Also, create a definite workspace where your brain knows, hey, it's time for work. Use natural light, use silence or neutral background sound. Make your environment a place that supports clarity and deep focus. Second, you need to audit your social circle. You can create two lists: people in your circle who energize you and people who drain you. You don't need to cut off anyone out of the blue, but focus on spending more time with the first group and set boundaries with the second group that I call the energy drainers. And just be mindful of interactions with other people and how you feel after them. Third, you need to control your digital environment. So turn off unnecessary notifications. For example, I don't receive any notifications from like Instagram, Facebook, or any social apps. I can see my notifications only when I log into the app. I also use this app called Opium. It blocks my like social media at a certain hours, and I need to request to get in. So it just requires like 2-3 steps more to get into the app. So oftentimes I just don't even open it. Then batch your emails and social media time as much as possible. Designate a time or times in the day when you check and respond to your emails. Not everything requires your immediate response. Organize your files, documents, and pictures weekly. Delete apps that you don't use. Your phone should support your goals and not work against you. And the last one is build this into your routine. So reset your physical space weekly, or like I said, at least one area of your living space. Then reevaluate your social environment and circle monthly. Review your digital habits weekly. Utilize your screen time feedback and see where your focus has been going. And this isn't any extra work. This is what makes your life and everything else way easier. And finally, why this changes everything. So when you fix your environment, you remove the friction that steals your energy and focus. Clearing clutter gives your mind room to think, and setting boundaries protects your emotional capacity. Controlling your digital world will give you that uninterrupted time you need for real work. And once you implement them, these changes will compound fast and you'll get more done in less time and feel less drained doing it. High performing leaders outperform others not because they are some superhuman, but because they eliminate the distractions and environmental pressure that drain everything else. Your environment can either work for you or against you. And once you redesign it to support your goals, everything becomes easier. So you have ambition, you have potential, and you have the vision. But if your environment is working against you, everything becomes 10 times harder than it needs to be. So no, you're not lazy, you're not unfocused or undisciplined. You're trying to win inside an environment that's built for low performance. So change your space, protect your energy, and create a digital world that supports your goals. You need to build an environment that makes success your default instead of a fight. So once your environment is aligned, everything else starts falling into place much easier and faster. This was another episode of Living Fiercely, and if this episode opened your eyes to how much your environment has been costing you, hit that follow button and so that you never miss an episode. And please go and leave a review and share this with a friend, a co-worker, or someone who needs to hear this message. I'll see you in the next episode.